Hello, Hossein. Hello, Colin. Did I see the Met Gala 2024? I didn't, Hossein. I'm not a big fan of those kinds of things. I'm not a fashion guy. I don't like fashion, to be honest with you. I think fashion is too vain. I can't understand it. I understand wanting to look good. I don't understand wanting to draw so much attention to yourself. So when you say whose look blew you away, none of them, because every time I see somebody that looks like that, I just think, what's wrong with you? Like, why do you need so much attention? Why? Why can't you just... I don't know. I'm not a fashion person. I just don't. I'm not a person who spends a lot of time on how he looks. And I don't understand people who do. I understand spending some time. Some time is one thing. I get haircuts and I change my look every once in a while, and I try to, you know, but I don't spend a lot of money on clothes because I just can't justify it. And I don't spend a lot of time on or money on trying to impress people with how I look. I think you should impress people with who you are, not what you look like. Put it this way, Hossein. We tell people don't judge a book by its cover. Well, if that's true, then you should also not try to make your cover look so amazing. If you're spending all the time making your cover look so great, that tells me there's probably not much inside the book. Right? So, I don't mind trying to look appropriate, or trying to look mature, or trying to look what's a good word? Let's just say that I generally appreciate somebody who has understated looks, not overstated looks. So I don't like anybody who has too much of anything on their looks. I also don't like guys who work out too much because, again, it's just too vain to me. You know, like if you're spending all your time on how you look on the outside, it tells me you're probably not spending enough time on what you look like on the inside. Right, but I don't like the paparazzi. I think they all need to get a new job. I'm not a fan of Vogue magazine or any of those magazines, you know, just the whole fashion world. It's too vain for me. It's too vain for me. So I'm not a fashion person. I have never spent a lot of money on clothes, and I just can't understand anybody who really does. Alex says it can be good cover and good inside. It can be, but it rarely is. In my experience, it can be, but it rarely is. Put it this way. I can't justify wanting to spend $10,000 on what you look like when there are people you could help with that money. I can't understand somebody who has a $2,000 suit. I just can't. No. Clothes are not that important. And there are other things you could do with that money that would be a lot better. Yeah, and Alex, I'm not a fan of the Kardashians at all. Exactly, that's my point. The Kardashians are a perfect example. They look great on the outside, but on the inside, they're horrible people. They're extremely vain, and they have no real sense of what the world really is like. So, some people think Kim Kardashian is very beautiful. I think she's ugly, and I think it's because of her personality. I can't even look at her from the outside because her inside is so ugly to me. I know that's a shocking statement, but do I teach high school students? Colin, I teach all ages. Okay? Yes, also adults. Colin, I've been teaching for about 30 years. I've taught every age. Kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, college, adults, the elderly, everyone. Talk about vain. You had ribs removed? That tells me you have severe mental issues. That tells me you have severe mental issues and spiritual issues, and that you have a very warped idea of what's important in the world. You have a very warped idea and understanding of what's truly important in the world. The Kardashians, if they stopped doing what they're doing now and went to a soup kitchen, a food kitchen to serve food to the homeless every day for the next 10 years, it might help them. It might help them. They should do that during the day, and at night they should read books. Read something. Okay, why what, Hazel? You saw people that looked beautiful on the... Wait, Mavi says... I saw that people that look beautiful of the inside, but they were beautiful also on the outside, but now I know I was wrong. No, I'm not saying you can't be beautiful on the outside and be beautiful on the inside. You can. You can. But it's not that common. And to me, if you spend a lot of money on fashion, on what you look like, I can't understand that in this world. There are so many people who need food and need help, and kids who need mentors and teachers, and you're spending $10,000 on a dress or $100,000 on a dress or a suit? No, there's something extremely wrong about that. All of the money spent on fashion would be better spent helping people. That's what I think. I look more aged than just a few days ago. Well, I haven't shaved. But thank you for that, Jeffrey. You look old today, man. Well, look, see, there's a perfect example. I didn't shave because I don't care. Working with so many age groups has taught me a lot in terms of learning methods. It has. Absolutely. Don't judge a book by its cover. Right. But again, Mandy, like I said, to me, when you say don't judge a book by its cover, there's a second part of that that is not often said. Don't spend too much time on the cover and not enough time on the content. Nobody wants to read a book that has nothing important in the middle, but just has a beautiful cover. Right? And to me, that's unfortunately what too many models and too much fashion is. A lot of time spent on the look, not enough time spent on the inside, the content. Okay? Not everybody. I know some people who, for example, one of the streamers here, Noonie. She's a Thai girl. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous. She's a model. Well, she's model looks, but she has clearly, I think she has spent more time on the inside of herself than on the outside of herself. I think she tries to help people. I think she has good character. And that's much more important to me. I'm considering social responsibility. Yes, Hazel. And what I'm telling you is that if you're a human being, then you should be considering social responsibility. Everybody on this planet should be considering social responsibility. You mean Kim Kardashian could easily eradicate poverty? Probably not, but she absolutely could do something about it if she was actually trying to help people herself, not spending so much time on red carpets and stupid social, what do you call those, reality TV shows? It was like anti-reality. Shoaib, let's not talk about... I don't generally like to talk about excrement on my streams. Okay, Shoaib Khan. If you don't know what excrement is, look it up. Truly mature people don't worry so much about how others see them. Yeah, again, like I said, I'm not saying you can't spend some time to make yourself look okay, but you should spend more time on the content than you should on the cover. Excrement. I'll write it for you. Yeah. And the topic that Shoaib brought up to me is that. He's a perfect example of what we're talking about. That's a man who has spent zero time on his content. None. Zero. Absolutely no time on the content and all the time on the cover. And it's kind of pathetic. At this point, it's really pathetic. Prince, look it up. Dristris has a question. What is the origin of the English language? I would love to tell I love to tell this story. So let me tell you what the origin of the English language is. Okay, so England was not yet a country. Okay, a long time ago, there were a few groups of people living in the area that we now call England. Okay, they consisted of Celts and Druids and other local tribal people there. And then there were two tribes, the Anglos and the Saxons, who actually moved from an area of Germanic, well, we call it Germanic areas, but it's like Germany/France. But again, this is before Germany and before France, so you can't really call it Germany or France. But they're Germanic tribes, the Anglos and the Saxons, and they moved from there across the water into England, and they mixed with those groups of local tribe people in England. Okay? That was the start of the English language. The word Anglo is where we get the word English from, okay? But English, about 60% of English words are of Latin origin. They're from the Latin language. Why? Because that entire area, all of the UK and most of Europe, was controlled and ruled by the Roman Empire for hundreds of years. Okay? And the Roman Empire, the language they used was Latin. So they had a huge influence on the English language. And also, after the Roman Empire left England, and when the Roman Empire basically collapsed and was over, after that, the major religion of Europe was Christianity. And the language of Christianity was Latin. Okay? So the Roman Empire and Christianity are the reason why 60% of English words are related to Latin or Greek. Okay? And why is Latin a dead language? Because it's an incredibly stupidly hard language. I studied it for 1 year. It's really hard. It's a stupid language that is really hard. So then, Prince, 30% of English words come from French. And the reason for that is that the French Empire also, or the French, we'll call it empire. The French Empire also had a lot of influence on England because England and France were constantly fighting. They were fighting for hundreds of years, England and France. So, and trading too. Fighting and trading. Okay? So that's why there's so many English words that come from French. Okay? Because we had a lot of influence just culturally between the French culture and the English culture. Okay? And then 20% of English words come from German or Norse. Norse means the Northern European languages. And that's because mostly due to trade and cultural influence, again. So, for example, many of the English words that come from the Norse countries, the Northern European countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland, and those countries, there were Viking communities there, right? The Viking culture, as well as other Northern European cultures, not just the Vikings, but they also had a big influence fighting with and trading with England and the English islands. Okay, the UK islands, right? They fought a lot and traded with them a lot. And the Germans, again, there's a lot of trade and fighting going on there. So English has nothing original? No, that's not true. A lot of English words are from English, okay? Almost all the words that have O-U-G-H in them, those are English. The word, for example, the word subway. Okay, sub comes from Latin. Sub means under. But way is an old English word that means the road. The road. So subway means the under road. Okay? Modification came from America. Well, not exactly, Davis. The English language, America didn't come for another few hundred years, man. so America had almost no importance in the creation of the English language. America, the English language changed in America due to, one, we were originally an English colony, right? We were originally an English colony. But we broke away from England. And so when we broke away from England, we wanted to change a lot of things that we didn't want to be like the English. So they drink tea and we drink coffee. They say hello and we say hello. And they have that accent and we have this accent. So culturally, there were reasons why we wanted to be different. And there's another very simple reason, which is just distance and proximity. The further a language goes away from where it originated, the more likely it's going to take on changes. That's why we have different accents around the world, too. Right? So in America, there are many, many accents, not just mine. Right? And that all has to do with distance and proximity and linguistic regional development. Okay? Swati, as I just explained, the origin of English is from England, but not just from England. I told you what it is. Okay? I've been studying the origins of English since I was 15 years old. Okay? My first language that I studied was Latin when I was 15. And so, and actually, English is not the second largest language. No, Chinese is the first, Spanish is the second, English is the third, I believe, and then Hindi, I believe. Okay? But English is the most popular lingua franca, which means it's the most popular language spoken around the world between people who don't know the same language. Okay? And yes, of course, Latin is ancient. Of course it is. I know that. Yeah, but you can't always trust Google, Swati. You can't always trust Google. Google will tell you whatever it can find quickest, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's correct. Okay? All right, wait, there are a lot of questions here. Rapid has, hello, Rapid, good morning. That's right. The Roman Empire had disagreements from the inside. Western and Eastern had that's right. Orthodox, that's right. That's correct. I mean, that's not the entire story, but yeah, that's a part of it. But the reason why the Roman Empire fell actually was not because of that disagreement. The reason the empire fell had a lot, there were many other things that had to do with it. Mostly, there's one simple fact about any empire. The bigger an empire gets, the harder it is to control it. And the more likely it's going to be influenced by outside influences, the bigger it is. And so the more likely it's going to fall, okay? Small countries have a much greater chance of success than huge countries. The bigger your country is, the harder it is to control. Simple fact. Proximity means, it comes from the Latin word proximus, which means the distance from something. Okay, or the closeness of something, right? What the proximity means, how close is it to this thing? Good morning, Miguel. Okay. Let's see. How do I keep in good spirits every day? Well, I don't, Robin. Every day, sometimes I have days where I'm not so happy, but I like to teach, and I've been teaching for a long time, and it's something I'm good at. So usually I feel better when I do things I'm good at. Yes, almost all the science and math and medicine words come from Latin. Almost all of them. 98% of them come from Latin or Greek. But Greek, because the Greek culture they were very influential on Roman culture. The Romans admired the Greeks that came before them. So they studied Greek language and Greek culture and Greek traditions, and a lot of those became Roman traditions in different ways. What can we say for someone who looks good on the inside? I think you mean what can we say for somebody who looks good on the outside but not good on the inside? Usually we call them shallow. You're shallow, in my opinion. If you look great on the outside but you have nothing on the inside, shallow means not deep. Okay, so if you're shallow, it means your personality is shallow. It doesn't go very deep. You haven't worked on it very much. Okay? A deep personality means you've spent time thinking about things and contemplating and trying to grow. And Dristris, I'm the teacher. That's why it says Teacher Mark. English is a mixture of Latin, German, French, and also Norse, and also Arabic, and also Hindi, and also Chinese, and also Japanese, and Italian. So, for example, Dristris, the word alcohol, the word algebra, the word caravan, the word hazard, all four of those, Arabic. Okay? English is a language that is a mixture of many. Latin, German, and French are the three biggest ones. Actually, it's Latin, French, then German. But it's also it's not just Latin, French, and German. There were originally words that are English only. They didn't just take three languages and put them together. They had their own language, but that language was greatly influenced by Latin, French, and German, as well as Norse, and every other language that it came into contact with. The biggest reason why English is a popular language is the British Empire. There is some truth to that. Yeah, originally, the initial reason, I'll say, that English is a world language is because of the British Empire. That is true. However, the British Empire ended a long time ago, and so I'll take credit for that America actually has a lot more influence on the English language now than anywhere else, than anything else, because of culture, movies and TV shows and music. Those things. People are watching Netflix all over the world. People are watching our movies all over the world. So English, there's a lot of cultural influence from America because of our art forms that are English-based. What was the first widely used language? Probably, well, that depends on what area of the world you're talking about. That depends on what area of the world you're talking about. You can't really, it's impossible to say. Let me think about that for a minute based on what I know. In the Western world, I would say that the first widely used language might actually have been Spanish and not English, because the Spanish Empire was also huge, and they spread Spanish everywhere, right? So all of Central America and most of South America that speak Spanish, they didn't speak Spanish before. Not until Spain came there. They all had indigenous languages from their own regions, but they were overtaken by Spanish by the Spanish Empire. And British, of course, as well, because, again, the British Empire became huge as well. Portuguese had some pretty good influence around the world, too. Dutch as well. How many English loanwords are there in English, like déjà vu? Lots of them. That's one of the reasons English is a difficult language, is because we have so many words from so many borrowed languages, borrowed words, I should say. Borrowed words. But it's generally said that the British accent is more intellectual sounding than the American accent. Well, that's a cultural assumption. But just as we were talking about before, the way you dress, if you wear a $10,000 suit, it doesn't mean you're a good person. And if you speak with a British accent, that doesn't mean you're a genius. Hello, mate. Hello, governor. That's a sticky wicket. Do I like music? Yeah, I'm a musician. Of course I do. Did America preserve English or develop it? Neither. It was the language that was brought to this area, right? America was originally a British colony. So, of course, we spoke English because that's the language that we were originally using. And then we developed it because of our regional distance from England and our cultural need to be different than England. Is there any advice how to improve formal English? Sure. I would say, one, you've got to develop your vocabulary. If you want to be able to use formal English well, then you need to have a formal English vocabulary. Two, you need to listen and read people who use the language formally very well. Okay, familiarize yourself with people who speak and write and use the language the way you want to. Okay, yeah, shallow is SHALLOW. Introvert is a different thing, Shoaib. Introvert is a person, there's extrovert and introvert. Those are Latin. Again, introvert is a person who's not particularly social. An extrovert is a person who's very social. But that doesn't have anything to do with what you look like on the outside and what content you have on the inside. The word loot comes from Hindi, right? If I remember right, yeah. Shampoo from Hindi, jungle from Hindi. There are a bunch of them. Yeah. What was the first language spoken by humans? No one knows, because the first language that was spoken by humans was not written down. Speaking came way before writing did. So that no one can tell you what the first language was that was spoken. No one can. We can only speculate. So here's how it works. We have English, like I discussed, and English comes from Latin and Greek and French and German mixed together, right? But before those languages, before Latin and Greek, there were what we call PIE languages, Proto-Indo-European languages. So that means Proto-Indo-European. That means that entire area had many, many, many source languages. The first language, the oldest language that we know about, as far as I know, is Sanskrit. The oldest language that we know about, as far as I know, is Sanskrit. Do I come live daily at this time? Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Pretend that you're a British gentleman and then you gain the British accent? No, not exactly. Why do Americans hate British? We don't hate the British. We don't hate the British. Rapid. We have a contentious history. Okay? We're friends with the British. We're allies. We don't hate the British. But historically and culturally, we do give each other the business sometimes. Which, to give each other the business, to give someone the business means you're making fun of them, you're joking, you're ribbing them. To rib somebody means to kind of tease them. Right? So they tease us about our accent, and we tease them about their accent. We tease each other. That's why I think we're friends. We're not enemies. We're friends. We don't hate each other. However, I will say the British have a bit of arrogance and snobbery about the English language. They think that the way we speak sounds terrible. You know, they think it sounds horrible. And they think that the only proper way to speak English is with an English accent. And we say bollocks. Actually, they say bollocks, but we say, you're full of it. So we don't hate each other, no. But as I've said before, you will hear British people who will say, the only proper accent is a British accent. But you will never hear an American say that. We don't care. I don't care what your accent is. Danny says the British accent sounds gentle. Well, which one, Danny? There are many British accents, too. Right? If you come from Liverpool, that does not sound like a gentle accent. Not at all. If you have a Cockney accent, that does not sound gentle. It's barely intelligible. So accents are a funny thing because there is no one accent that's the proper accent. There are many accents in England. In the UK, there are many accents. And there are many accents here, too. Right? If you come from Texas, you don't sound like me. If you come from New York, you don't sound like me. If you come from Boston, you don't sound like me. That doesn't mean they're wrong. It means it's a different accent. What was the global language of the world before English? Like I said, historically, I think that's slightly difficult to answer. It depends on what region of the world you're talking about. There was no global language of the world before English because English and Spanish became global languages because that was the first time we traveled around the globe. So English, Spanish, Portuguese, and Dutch became they had a lot more influence on the world because those were the four cultures that were exploring the world. Okay, now, but like I said, though, that's in the West. That doesn't mean that there weren't a whole lot of people speaking Chinese, because there were, right? But we often talk about history with these separated globes, these separated ideas of Eastern and Western history, right? It's kind of a weird thing the way we were taught that way. Okay? But there was no global language before English or Spanish or Dutch or Portuguese because there was no globe yet. They didn't even know the world was round entirely, right? Some did, but not many. Okay? Davis says, don't focus on accent, learn IPA. Actually, Davis, I discourage people from learning IPA. I think IPA is great if you're learning linguistics. But if you're learning a language, it's like learning a whole nother language. So you want to learn English, but before you can learn English, you have to learn IPA first. I think it's overthinking. I think it's too much detail for the average person, and it's not worth the trouble, to be honest. That's the way I see it. And Davis, here's the other reason why you don't need to know IPA to learn English. I would say about less than 1% of native speakers of English know IPA. Less than 1%. So if the native speakers don't need to learn IPA, then why do you? You should learn phonics, but not phonetics. Phonetics is a linguistic term. Phonics is a language term. And linguistics and language are not the same. Linguistics is the study of how a language was formed and what are the rules of the language, but it's not a practical understanding of using the language. It's a what's the right word? It's an academic understanding and dissection of language. That's what linguistics is. But language is trying to use the language to communicate. Okay? So that's why I think you got to focus on the practical aspects of language. And I don't think IPA is very practical, in my opinion. Many people disagree with me, but that's my view. Okay, let's see. Chinese, Japanese, Korean language has some common ancestor or not. They do, from what I know, they do. There is some linkage there, which is the reason why Japanese writing, a lot of it is the same as Chinese writing, right? Now, those three cultures, Japanese, Korean, and Chinese, they just like the British and the English fought a lot, the Chinese and the Koreans and the Japanese fought a lot too. And they traded a lot too. And so there was cultural exchange just due to fighting and trade. And of course, geographic proximity. They were close to each other. So, of course, the people who lived on the borders of one area and another, they had a lot more influence there, right? I'm very gentle too, not always. What's my take on the Indian accent? You mean the English Indian accent? My take is that there's nothing wrong with it. As a matter of fact, on my iPhone, you can choose 4 different accents for your Siri, right? You can have an American accent, you can have a British accent, you can have an Australian accent, or you can have an Indian accent. So there's nothing wrong with the Indian accent at all. If it is spoken clearly, that's the key. So there is one issue that some Indian people have, which is not just Indian people. This is true for all languages in the world. People who learn English, if you want to understand how to speak with an American accent or a British accent, you need to understand one very important thing. Accent comes from mouth movement. If you use the same mouth movements that are in your native language to speak English, you won't sound like I do. So many Indians, Indian language, Hindi and Tamil and some of the other languages there, most of them, they all have a very small mouth position, and the sound of the language is very articulated and kind of fast, right? So I studied a little bit of Carnatic music. I play drums, so I learned a little tabla. Okay, so I know the, taka dimi, taka dimi, taka dimi, taka dimi, taka dimi, taka da, taka dimi, taka da ta. And that kind of very sharp rhythmic sound, that's the sound of Hindi. Okay? So here's a problem that Indian people have when they speak English. They still use a small mouth, and they still use the same fast rhythm that comes with the Hindi language. But if you want to sound like me, slow down and open your mouth bigger. That's the biggest advice I can give to any of the languages that are small mouth languages. Hindi, Tamil, Japanese, Chinese, Vietnamese, all of those languages tend to have a very small mouth when they speak, and they don't speak as clearly in English if you don't know how to open your mouth more and change the rhythm of your language to match the rhythm of English. Can I say something with a British accent? I can, but it wouldn't be real because I'm not a Brit. IPA is good to know as theory? Okay, yeah, but that's kind of like learning about swimming, but never swimming. You can read about swimming. Does that mean you can swim? No. You can read about driving. Does that mean you can drive? No. So, you need to focus on practical usage of language. When you say you want to learn language, you shouldn't be learning about the academic theory of language. You should be learning about the practical usage of language. Hello, 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 everyone. Is this the normal speed of my speech? It's the normal speed of my speech when I want people to hear me and understand me, yes. Language has no speed. Language has no speed. So, language is like music. Is fast music the only good music? No. No. So, sometimes fast music is good, sometimes medium music is good, sometimes slow music is good, sometimes loud music is good, sometimes soft music is good. Language and music have many similarities. If I want people to listen to me, then I speak at this speed. And here is one thing I will tell you. The faster you speak, the less meaning your words have. But the slower you speak, the more meaning your words have. That's right. Davis said some people have a misunderstanding that speaking fast means you're fluent. That's why I said language has no speed. You don't want fast language. What you want is controlled language. The goal is control, not speed. Control. That means you have control of your pronunciation. That means you have control of your grammar. That means you have control of your vocabulary. Okay? It means you have control of your reading, your writing, your listening, your speaking, your thinking, your pronunciation. Control, control, control. That's the goal, not speed. Can you ask a question? Of course you can. Seema, that's what we're doing here. Thank you, Irina. Privyet. Do I use a different way of speaking in different conditions, like with students, family, and friends, or the same as now? Of course I do. Yeah, when I hang out with my band, I don't talk like this. When I hang out with my band. As a matter of fact, the first time my band saw me teaching, they were shocked because they'd never heard me speak like this before. Okay? What does where your game at? Shouted at a gamer twice? Well, here's one thing I will tell you, XYZ. First of all, I don't play games. I'm not an internet gamer. Second of all, gaming is not a good place to learn proper English. You're going to hear a lot of people say a lot of stupid stuff, like, where your game at? If I had to guess what they mean, because I'm not certain, but if I had to guess what they mean, is to have game is a slang term that means that you're good at doing something. You're skilled. So where your game at means where is your game at? Why are you not skilled? Okay? But please don't learn English from gaming. I beg you. Don't learn English from gaming, all right? No offense, but gaming is gaming, and that's all well and good. I'm not a gamer, but you are not going to learn how to sound good by learning English from gaming. You can learn a few things, but for every one thing that you learn that's correct, you're going to learn 3 things that are probably not. Okay? Seema, I'm waiting for your question. Where's your question, Seema? Hello, drummer friend. Andrea, that's what I do here. I've been on Hello Talk. I've been on Hello Talk for more than 10 years. I've been doing live streams from, I want to say 2.5 at least years. I have done how many live streams now? Let's find out how many live streams I've done. I've done 921 live streams. Let's see. $1,583 hours of teaching, 921 live streams. And if you go to my YouTube channel, which is right here, by the way, if you go to my YouTube channel, you'll find all of my live streams on Hello Talk are recorded. So I'm recording this right now, and it's also on YouTube at the same time. So after I'm finished with this, you can go to YouTube and watch it again and again and again. I have dozens and dozens and dozens of live streams recorded on Hello Talk on YouTube. Okay? And also, if you go to my YouTube channel, there's no time limit. And you can see the credits too. Well, not credits, sorry, subtitles. Hello? Okay, let's see. A few days ago, I downloaded this app. The first day I could join a live stream, the app told me you're limited. That's right. Seema, you are limited unless you buy a VIP account or unless you go to my YouTube channel. No limit on my YouTube channel. Okay, Seema, so go join my YouTube channel. It's on right now. So I have one screen on Hello Talk and one screen on YouTube. The YouTube is a little bit delayed, right? So it's about 1 minute or 2 minutes delayed behind my Hello Talk stream, but it's the same stream, okay? Seema, of course, all apps. This is a free app. Hello Talk is a free app, of course. But how are they supposed to pay their workers? How are they supposed to pay their workers? Of course, they have to charge some money sometime. So they have a VIP version of the app, just like almost every other app. There's a VIP version and a free version. Okay? The free version is limited. The VIP version is completely unlimited. Okay? I do think it is worth buying if you can afford it, but I do recognize that there are many people in parts of the world that can't afford to buy this app. I have told them that, and I have told them that what they should do is make a subscription option. So, for example, if you like my live streams, then you should be able to subscribe to my live streams only and pay a smaller monthly fee so that you can afford to watch this stream unlimited. Okay? Hello, Tanya. Good morning. Thank you, Jenny. Hello, Belen. Do I read broadcast comments on YouTube or only here? No, I read them here. I've been reading Rapid's comments. Rapid, his latest comment now is, in America, is it easy to find jobs as a native English speaker? Yeah, I guess if you just want a job, then sure, there are plenty of jobs available. You can get a job. But if you want something that you actually believe in, then that has nothing to do with your language, really. It has everything to do with your passion, your skill, and your ability. $921 live streams over 2.5 years. That's right. I read both the comments. I read the comments in YouTube and I read the comments in Hello Talk. But sometimes I have almost 200 people here in Hello Talk, and you guys need to learn how to be patient because it's not easy to answer questions from 200 people. Okay, there are 80 people here right now. And sometimes people, they write the same comment or question 10 times to me because they think I'm ignoring them. I'm not ignoring you. You need to wait. I'll get to it when I can. I'll get to it when I can. Okay? Be patient. Thank you have done. Thank you for the gifts, everyone. I appreciate it. Okay. Let's talk to somebody. Let's start with Shahed in Bangladesh. Hello, Shahed.
Hi,
How are
hi,
you,
teacher Mark.
how are you, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great, and thank you for asking. And I'm also feeling great because I joined with you, and I'm practice and improvement my English level, and it's my partner, and I appreciate that for accepting me. Thanks a lot, my dear heart.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And can I help you with anything? Do you have any questions for me, or did you just want to chat about something?
Uh, so I'm a little bit, but I'm not good in English. But I'm trying my best to improvement my English level. So that's why I joined with you. So if you have any question, I will ask you. Try to ask me. I will try to describe these things. It will be better for me. And behind the reason, only practice purpose.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So, Shahed, tell me first. Tell me, what do you think is your strength in English, and what do you think is your weakness in English?
I think that I'm a little bit weak because I'm very afraid to speak in front of any people in front of camera. So that's why I'm trying my best to improvement my English level, and it's very necessary and it's very crucial part of our life, you know. And I have a plan. I want to go other country for my higher education. That's why if I go other countries, so I have to need fluency in English. That's why I'm trying my best and hard working, doing about in improvement my English level. That's it.
Okay. So you said you're afraid to speak in front of people, and this is a very, very common problem for millions of people. Okay, but I want to try to explain something to all of you. It makes sense if you're afraid of bears. It makes sense if you're afraid of tigers. It makes sense if you're afraid of sharks. It does not make sense if you're afraid to speak. You are not going to die if you speak. Just relax. Embarrassment is
Of
that's your
course,
problem. Embarrassment is your enemy, and you give too much control to your embarrassment. Okay?
of course, of course, of
So
course.
you have to make a decision when you're learning a language, especially, but when you're learning anything, you have to make a decision. Do you care more about learning, or do you care more about your embarrassment?
Of course, of course, of course. I got it your point, and so that's why I have a plan, and I want to become a good speaker in English. That's why I am hard working about it, and I am trying conversation foreigner people because first of all, when because I am from Bangladesh, so my local language is Bengali, and I have no idea and accent. So that's why I try my best to join foreigner people and foreigner friends. So it helps a lot to understanding any accent. So that's
Okay,
why I am trying my best.
so that's good, but I also tell people that your accent is not as important as you think it is. Okay?
Yes,
Clarity is important. To be
most
clear
important.
when you speak, being clear is very important. But your accent does not have to sound like mine. You can speak English perfectly well with a Bengali accent, with a French accent, with a German accent, with a Chinese accent, with a Japanese accent, with a Hindi accent. You can speak English perfectly well with any accent. What you need to do is not worry about sounding like me, worry about sounding clear. Okay, so
Of
some of
course,
your words might not
definitely.
be clear. Some of your words might not be clear. And if your words are not clear, then when you say them, I'll look at you like this, huh? But if your words are clear, then it doesn't matter what accent you have. It does not
Of course,
matter.
of course.
Okay, that's
And I
important.
appreciate that. And I agree with you.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So now my last tip for you, Shahed, is you live in Bangladesh, but you can practice English every day. Do you know how?
Yes, of course. I know that because right now there are huge application to practice other country people, foreigner country people. So right now
Yeah, but
I'm
that's actually
using this.
not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this: all language starts in your mind. So you need to start thinking in English more and not in Bengali as much. Right? So right
Okay,
now
okay, yes,
you think in
I
Bengali
got it. Your
all
point.
day long. You need to
Yes, yes.
start thinking in English more and more and more. Your brain, everybody, your brain is a language practice room. That is what your brain is. It's a language practice room. So you can practice English anytime you want in your mind. And if you do, then you become confident with the language here. If you are confident with the language in your mind, then you will be confident when you write, when you read, when you listen, and when you speak. So
Of course, I got it.
language
Your point,
confidence
and
starts in the
always
mind.
time. Yes, yes, and always time. I appreciate your following things. So, and I am always thinking in English, not Bengali. And right or wrong doesn't matter. But I try to think in English. I always try, and when I see something in front of my eye, after that I try to describe in English and
Good,
thinking in English like five or six sentences, two
good.
sentences described about these things. So I am follow these things. So it helps a lot to improvement because a couple of months before I didn't speak in English any sentences and I didn't know how to pronounce and how to make sentences and how to express myself a little bit. So right now I am follow this thing and I am a little bit speaking English. That's it.
Okay. Well, keep working on it. Keep working on it. That's the secret. The secret of practicing language is that you need to understand it all starts in your mind. And if you're not thinking in English every day, then you are not practicing enough. Okay?
Yes. Okay.
All right, Shahed. Well, I'm going to let you go, but it was good to talk to you. And make sure you follow and come back and see me again, okay?
Of course, of course, of course. I already followed to you, and when I any single free time, so I will try to join with you because you give me a huge suggestion, and I'm very appreciated that to join with you and speak with you. So thank you so much. Give me a valuable time and practice with me. So I will join to with you later. So thanks a lot. Bye bye, Tata.
Okay. Take care, my friend. Bye bye. Okay. So, yeah, language starts in the mind. You have to practice English in your mind every day. Okay, I live in the United States, but I can practice Chinese anytime I want just by trying to think in Chinese. And if I don't know how to think that thing in Chinese, that's my homework. That's what you should sit down and figure out. I want to think this, but I can't. So let me figure that out. Let me ask someone. Let me look it up. Let me write it down. Okay? OK，我知道一些人听不懂他说什么， 可是我听得懂他说什么，因为我知道就是他的发音有一点难的。可是如果你常常说很多的不一样的人说英文，你可以听得懂他们说什么。Have done says, how do I practice in my mind? 说简单的，说简单的。如果你肚子饿，你可以想 I'm hungry. 如果你很累，你可以想 I'm tired. Start with simple thoughts. You have simple thoughts every day. Stop using your native language for simple thoughts. Start having simple thoughts in English. Okay? 谢谢。Okay, hello, Jessica Georgina Clarista. That's a pretty name. Farhan Baki wants me to talk to him. Okay, wait a minute. I'll get to you in just a minute. Hello, how? Okay, sure. Yes, my website. If you want to go to my website is afiecenglish.com. That is my new website. Go to it and sign up and subscribe and give me your email so I can stay in contact with you in case you leave Hello Talk. Okay, I can still send you an email and tell you what I'm doing. All right? I'm writing a book about all these ideas that I'm telling you about, and eventually it will be finished. And when it is, I can send you an email and tell you my book is done. Okay? Hello, Aragon. Good to see you again. 好久不见. Thank you, Nadia. Okay, let's see. Who else wants to talk to me? Hello, Spectre. Good to see you again, too. Okay, let's see. Who was waiting in line? Let's try... Well, let's talk to Spectre, who I remember. But I can't remember what your name is anymore. What is your name? I can't remember your name anymore. I know you don't want people to know.
Hello.
Hello, Hao Buchen. Long time no see. How are you?
Yeah, long time no see. I'm quite busy actually. Let me just have a better light.
Okay, take your time.
How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm not bad. I'm okay. I'm hanging in there.
That was not very sure.
Well, you know, life has ups and downs.
Yes.
And you have to roll with the punches. I mean, that's a boxing idiom. It means keep going. Even if you get hit, you have to keep going.
Oh yeah, I feel you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm hanging in there is usually what I say.
I think we have a similar kind of life right now, I think.
You know, I admire people who are always pleased with the way their life is going, but I'm not usually that way. I always want to do more. I always want to try. I'm too critical about myself. So I never feel like what I'm doing is enough, or never feel like what I'm doing is good enough. And I always feel like there are other things that I could be doing that would be better or more somehow. I'm just hypercritical.
Yeah, I used to be like this way also, but nowadays I try to relax more. Like, it's hard.
Yeah. You know, this is why I don't like money. You know, if that's not a concern, then it's easier to feel a little bit more just like, whatever's whatever. But if you're worried about it, then it's kind of hard to feel like you can just relax more. Yeah, and America is a place right now where every day is a struggle. Everything's just too expensive.
Yeah.
Everything's just too expensive. It's an expensive place to be.
True. I mean, also here in Hungary or Austria, where I am now, it's very, very expensive, everything, and people don't want to give money they should give. I am in a lawsuit right now since half a year ago, and because they gave me €3 in 1 hour, and I was working 7 days a week. And it was like my first real job without any occupation. And yeah, I found out after 5 months that they didn't pay me enough. So
yeah, I mean, if you're rich and you're here watching me, then you're not going to like this, but rich people are ruining the world. They are absolutely ruining the world. There's no other way to say it. The reason why there's not enough money for everyone is because a few people have all of it. And they don't want to give anything to anyone. And they have more money than anyone needs in one lifetime. They have more money than anyone needs in one lifetime. It's too much. They're too greedy.
well, it's interesting what you say, yes. I work in financial consulting also, one of my jobs that I learn right now, and it's pretty interesting because, for example, I don't know how much you know about Sweden, but in Sweden and also in the USA, you know a little bit more about, how to make more money, right? That's what I know.
You mean Americans know more about it?
I think so. I think they know a little bit more than in Europe, for sure.
I would say only a few people know. And those people
Really?
know well, and they make all the money.
Oh.
Yeah. But the average person, we call that financial literacy. Okay? And
Yeah.
well, here's the thing though. It's kind of hard to be financially literate when you're just barely getting by all the time. Right?
Yeah.
So my parents' generation, they were able to work and save money and invest, and work and save money and invest. But the average person in America today can barely pay their bills. So they can't even consider the idea of investing in anything because they can just barely have enough money to pay their rent and pay for groceries. And a lot of the rich people, they keep saying, well, yeah, but you buy Starbucks coffee and you have a cell phone and you have a TV. If you didn't have those things, then maybe you could save money. But no, I'm sorry. That's not the way it works. The way it works is that here's inflation and here are wages. And if inflation is above wages, then it doesn't matter how hard you work. You're never going to make enough.
Yes.
That's
true.
And I know that they spend a lot of money, the rich people, to try to convince you that it's not true. But the rich people are the reason why inflation is high. It's not because of anything else. It's because they charge more money than they need to for goods. And if everybody is charging more money than they need to for the goods, then they exceed the value of the goods themselves, which means that your value of what you work for will never equate to the value of what you need to pay for. There's your financial literacy.
But actually, just one moment. If I may disappear, it's because I have a
Time limit.
digital detox, which can, I just disappear. Interesting topic, actually. Since I work and learn about it here in Europe, especially here in Austria, it's quite interesting. I don't know how the bank is handling in USA this kind of matters. But if you want to, for example, let's say you want to invest in phones or something, you have to be quite like serious about it and have a lot of money, right?
Right. That's the thing.
Um,
Like investments you can't do investments with just this much money.
yes,
They just
yes,
recently, in the last 10 years or so, there has been one change about that. Like the stock markets, there are now a couple of apps that were letting people play the stock market with just a little bit of money, which was new. That was brand new, but they got in trouble for that too. Somehow they were cheating the system or something, and I don't know, they got in trouble for it. So I don't know if they're still doing it or not. But yeah, there's another problem. Investments are only for people who have a lot of money, which means
yes,
that's a game that they're keeping away from everybody. They don't want
yes,
everybody to invest, because if everybody invested, then everybody would have money, and then they wouldn't feel like they have more.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So where I am, we have our own bank, which is now very famous here in Austria. And what our mission is to make average people the this kind of path that they can do it also. So we can also start by, I don't know if you know the euro, how much it is worth now, euro and dollar, but it's
They're
we
close
can
to the same.
already. Hmm?
They're close to the same, I think.
Yeah, I think it's almost the same right now as I know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
1.07 US dollars is 1 euro.
yes,
It's almost the same.
yes. So here you can already start to invest in phones, etc. from 200 euro, even 150 around this kind of area. You can already start to invest, which is we really want to open this kind of door for average people to get more money, because a lot of people are suffering here. And this is why I like it. This is
That's
what I
good.
really want to do, because
That's good.
financial consultant people usually in this kind of business, they want only the money. They want to earn it, right? And insurances like here, for example, if you are selling insurances, for example, the life insurance is the baddest one, but you also earn the most money out of
Right.
it if you
Yeah.
can sell it,
Right.
right? And luckily, I didn't sell any kind of this insurance, because somebody told me before I was selling it, and I was like, oh no, I have to change the company, right? So I'm quite happy I didn't do anything like that. But in this area, I would say 80% of people who are working in this business, they're bad people. They just want to get rich.
Right.
And I
Same
want to
thing with
actually
America.
help.
Yeah, there are no
Yeah.
there are no really nice guys on Wall Street in America. Those
Yes.
guys are all I'm sorry, but no, I would find it to be very, very surprising that any of them were particularly good people, because they are worried about buying their fourth house and their fifth boat,
Yeah.
and they fly on private planes all over the place, and they don't think about anybody else but themselves. I don't want to live in
Yes.
that world. I'm sick of those people, and I'm really sick. The average person in America has about $7,000 in credit card debt. The average person. 7,000.
Wow.
That's the average. So there are many people who have up to 20,000. There are some who have 2 million people in America have $50,000 in credit card debt. And that credit card debt is almost always somewhere between 16 and 20 some percent interest.
Wow.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So actually, I had about $10,000 in credit card debt many years ago, and I could not pay it off here. No matter how hard I worked, I just could not pay it off. There was nothing I could do. I moved to Taiwan. I lived in Taiwan for 4 years. In 2 years, I paid it off.
Wow. But good for you that you
Yeah.
could pay it off.
That's right. But how did I do it? Because their cost of living is not stupid like it is here. You know, I had a great apartment in a nice neighborhood for about $300 a month. You can't rent a bathroom in America for $300 a month.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, the
That's
average
crazy.
apartment in my if I want to get a 1-bedroom apartment in my city, and my city is considered to be one of the cheaper places in America to live, it's probably about $1,000 a month. Yeah, and that's before bills, and that's before you have a car, and before you have car insurance, and before you have renter's insurance, and before you have groceries, and before you have taxes, and before you have health insurance.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder how people can survive in some kind of countries
This
or
is why I'm
areas.
saying, like, people don't understand that everybody thinks everything's better here. And it is, there are some things about my country that I love. There are some things about this place that I love. You know, freedom of speech and things like that. The fact that I can say these things and not worry about anybody getting mad at me, well, that's good. But there are lots of things that are not good. You know, the fact that we don't have affordable health care is stupid. It's absolutely ridiculous. College is so expensive that there are people who are 50 or 60 years old now, and they went to university, you know, when they were in their 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 years old, and they're still paying off their college loans.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
I had
that's like,
I had a friend who went to master's school in Southern California, and 2 years of master's degree school in this university was $250,000. And to go there, he had to get a loan to be able to afford it. And that loan would cost him $400,000. Tell me that's not robbery. That's robbery. That's robbery.
it is quite. I mean, the thing is, you know, I'm still in the process of making more money with financial consulting, right? Right now, I don't make money of it, but I would say, I mean, I have things I want to achieve with a lot of money. I want to open an academy for people, for kids, you know, because kids are future and kids are important. And I know what to do with the money I would earn when I can. But right now, I am working a lot for very less money because I have to learn more than I can work really. And it's like right now I do this about 8 months around this, and now I feel like it's so hard.
Yeah.
And
Well, I know how you feel because, you know, my job here teaching English, I charge about $25 an hour. Okay. And that's actually very low in America. For somebody my age doing what I do with as much experience as I have, that's not a lot of money at all. At all. And yet I constantly have people telling me that's too expensive. That's too expensive. And I get it because in your country, that's a lot of money. But I live here. So you have to pay the prices that they have here if you want to study with me. That is how it works. That is how it works. So, you know, it's kind of, that's the one difficult thing about having an international clientele. You know, I want to be able to help everyone. And that's why I do these free live streams so that I can help as many people as I can for nothing. I don't care I mean, I care because I need to care, but I want to be able to help people who cannot afford my lessons. So that's why I do these things, and it feels good to be able to help more people around the world with these things. But I still have to pay my bills. And so I still have to get lessons and I still have to make money. I just applied for a new job actually yesterday. I sent in my application yesterday. It's for a corporate language services company. And I really hope I get it because they pay a lot more. And I need it. I really do.
But you have to survive, right?
Right. Yeah. And I'm not driven by money. I am not driven by money at all. I do what I do because I love what I do. But as I just explained, America is a very expensive place to live. And that's why I probably will not stay here. I'm here now because I take care of my parents and they need my help. And so at some point in time, next year, my sister's planning on moving back to this area, and she's going to kind of take over helping my parents with anything that they need. And I've been here for about 4 years now, and my family knows that I don't really want to stay here, So where will I go? I could go back to Taiwan, and that would be great because I love it there, and I have many, many, many friends there, and I speak the language now, and it would be a piece of cake for me to go back there and boom. But I'd like to maybe find another place to check out because I like traveling the world and learning about new places. So I'm also considering, if I could, finding a place in Europe somewhere. I've never been to Europe. So I would like to go someplace in Europe. I'm thinking about Spain. I'm thinking about Slovakia, where I have family. Actually, I have family in Slovakia that I've never met them. They're my grandfather. Well, my grandfather was born in Slovakia and came here, and his brother's family stayed there, and so they are still there, and they live in a tiny little village of 800 people called Mokrihai, and I would like to see that. That's a completely different thing. And I would like to experience that and see that culture and see where I come from a bit, And my mother's family's from Ireland. I've never been there either. I would like to go there sometime. I'm going to take a trip to Europe, hopefully this year, if I can afford it. Even if I can't afford it, I'm probably going to just put it on my credit card and just go. Because I'm an American and that's what we do. But I'd like to find someplace that I could stay. I would like to get a job for at least a year or two and just say, hey, I think I'm going to go to, I'll go to Spain and teach there for a year, go to Germany, teach there for a year, go to, wherever and just,
Well, I think you are amazing, like what you are doing. Like the people who are very passionate about what they are doing, what they are working, they always get the best job. That's my opinion because I know what I'm talking about. And for example, like in Switzerland, they pay the best for teachers, and especially right now. I don't know if it's also in other countries, but here in Europe,
yeah, I have a friend who teaches English in Switzerland. Yeah.
Yeah, and in your age, I forgot your age. You might be 50,
I'm
55.
I'm 48.
Ah,
I'm almost there.
So I was like totally wrong. So the older you are as a teacher, the more you get money, right? Because they see you are older, you have more experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for example, when you come here to Austria, they pay you as a teacher a lower kind of like money income than in Switzerland. For example, here as a service, I also work sometimes in restaurants, right? I get paid more money than a teacher, which is, I mean, I did not
Yeah,
do
teachers.
anything. I was not
Let me show you
Like,
something. Teachers in America don't make a lot at all. Do you know the magazine Time Magazine?
I heard of it, yes.
Time Magazine is one of the most famous magazines of all time. Let's see, where is that? Did I save that picture? No, I guess I put it in my Facebook. Let me find that really quickly. The latest cover of Time Magazine, let me see if I can show it to everybody here. It's really, really sad. Here it is. Let's see if you can read that.
I have a master's degree, 16 years of experience, work 2 extra jobs, and donate blood plasma to pay the bills. I'm a teacher in America. Wow.
She has a master's
That's
degree,
mind-blowing.
16 years of experience, but she needs to have 2 extra jobs, and she donates blood to pay the bills. That's how expensive America is. And that's why, again, I have nothing but contempt for the people who are in Wall Street, because they're making that kind of money doing what for the world? Doing what?
Yeah.
But teachers. You know, like if you're an architect, you make buildings. You know, if you're an engineer, you make bridges. If you're a farmer, you make food. If you're a politician, you make laws. Teachers make all of those things. You know? So it's sad that we don't pay teachers what they need to be paid, and we don't respect teachers. And now it's even harder in America. If I could get a job, well, I could get a job anytime I want. I could go work in an American school. I don't want to, because it's the way that they teach now and the rules they have, and the kids don't respect the teachers at all. There was just a kid, a 17-year-old kid I think in South Carolina, who assaulted 2 teachers in school. In front of everybody, smacked this teacher in the face twice.
Well, in USA, it's crazy how the kids even like behave.
It is. I agree. I mean, I sound like an old man, but I agree. A lot of these kids need a good smacking.
I don't know actually if violence helps for people who are not really well mannered. I mean,
But
I really don't know.
But the thing is, though, kids see that teachers are not respected by society. Teachers used to be one of the highest respected jobs in every society. But now they're not considered important. And as a matter of fact, parents are also responsible, because in America, the parents come in and tell the teacher how they're supposed to teach. And these oftentimes these are parents who didn't pass their own class, but they're coming in to tell the science teacher how to teach science. They didn't pass science in school, but they're going to tell the science teacher how to do it. And it's all because they here's one sad fact about having children. A lot of parents have children because they want to have control over something.
True.
And when you have a kid, now you're the authority and you get to say what happens and you do this and you do that. It's a pathetic need for them to need to control something. And the reason why is because they don't feel they have any control in their life. So when you have a child, you get to make the rules. Nobody can tell you what to do. But then they go in and tell the teachers, well, you can't teach my kid like that because I don't accept it. Okay, fine. Then take your kid someplace else. That's what I say. If you don't like the way I teach, your kid cannot be in my class. You either let me do my job the way I want to do it, or don't come. You know?
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's unfortunate, but education is not a well-respected field anymore.
But the thing is, I have also a little job with kids, right? I am kind kind of like watching over the safety of kids, right? It's like indoor, how do you call it? It's like a place, but in the house for kids to play around. It's
Like a play
it's like
area.
playground.
Playground is usually what we say outside. Play area is what we would say inside.
Yes, yes, yeah. So that one, and it's sometimes like hell. Like people are coming in, parents and kids, and mostly um the parents are more. They are like bad, very very bad, and the kids are kind of like, we have also kind of like where you can climb, right?
Hmm.
And parents sometimes come to that place and they want the kid is climbing, right? And the kid is crying, and the kid is saying like, no, I don't want to, but they are forcing the kid to climb on it.
Yeah.
And when I am on this in this area, because we switch around, I usually would say like, the kid don't want to, I will not let it
Right.
happen that they are
Yeah.
climbing there.
Yeah.
And once I got sued almost because I did nothing.
Wow.
Nothing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying.
So
Parents today
yeah.
are parents are a big reason why the education system is failing, because
Yeah.
education requires you to let go.
Yes.
Education requires that you have to admit that this is a person who knows more than you do, so you need to shut up and let them do their job.
Yes.
Now, but I will also say, though, there are some teachers who shouldn't be teachers. Teaching is not a job
Yes.
you should do
Sure.
if you're doing it for the money. Teaching is not a job you should do for any other reason than if you're passionate about teaching. Every teacher
Yes.
who becomes a teacher should be passionate about teaching. Just like being a doctor. You should not be a doctor if you just want money.
Yes.
Nobody wants to go to that doctor. You should go to a doctor because they want to help sick people.
Yes.
Right? So
Yes.
the same thing is true with being a teacher. You should only be a teacher if you are passionate about teaching and you have a fire about wanting to pass that knowledge on to other people and make them change the world. But
Yes.
so there is some culpability in the fact that there are some people who just shouldn't be teachers. And that should be,
I
they
would-
should figure that out in the first year of teaching school. When you go learn to be a teacher, they should figure that out and they should tell you right now, if you don't love this, get out. Go do something else. This is not for you. This is not for you. You have to be on fire all the time. If you can't be like that, you're in the wrong job.
Yes. True.
Yeah.
True. I mean, sometimes we also have like, before we are opening this indoor playground, we sometimes have this kind of groups, big groups from school or kindergarten, and then they come. And now at that moment, you see how kids are really like.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, there are usually two types, right? One of them are very shy, or one of them are disrespectful, right? And it's quite interesting because when the parents are here, the parents are disrespectful.
Right.
So I would say the moment the kid is just like a mirror.
Right.
for-
That's
from the
exactly what I'm
parents,
saying.
right?
So the kids are a problem, but the kids are a problem because the parents are a problem. And the
Yeah.
parents are a problem because society has decided not to respect teachers anymore.
Yes.
And there's a whole thing in the world of distrust of experts now.
Yes.
100 years ago, when you were an expert in something, we respected your knowledge more than anyone else because we know you're an expert. Of course, you know more than I do. Who am I? I'm just a dummy. You know everything about this subject. You've studied your whole life to know that thing. But now
Yes.
we question the experts. We say, well, look, see the scientists, they didn't know this, so they changed their mind, and now that must mean they know nothing. No, that's just how science works. It changes, and as it changes, you have to change with it. But there are some people that don't understand. That doesn't mean you don't have respect for the experts anymore. That means their views have gotten better. They understand things better now than they did before. But there are just ego. Ego is the real enemy here. Ego. There's a lot of people who they think, well, I know better than the teachers do, and I know better than this, and so the respect for teachers has gone down and down and down and down. And now that means the kids don't care, and the parents don't care, and the government doesn't care, and nobody cares. The respect is just too far down. I have thought about wanting to be a private teacher, just like set up my own school and say, you can come here. But that would be the first thing I say is you have to sign a document saying you get no say. You want your kid in my class? Then you get no say. You sign that over to me and you say that kid is mine during that time. And if you don't like it, leave. That's how it has to be. That is how it has to be. You don't get to argue with the teacher and tell them what to do and how to do it. You just don't. You just don't. Yeah. Anyway. Spectre, it was wonderful to talk with you. I should probably talk with some other people, but it was really great to see you again, and always nice to see you. So thank you for still following me and watching me and coming and saying hi sometimes. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm probably not one of those people who need you, like, very much. I just like to talk to some people who are.
And that's what today is. What does the title say today? It says, "Come talk with Teacher Mark." So that's what I wanted to do. Almost every time I'm here, I'm teacher, and focused on, telling people what to do and how to improve things. But sometimes I need a break too, and sometimes I just want to talk, and just I need a break, every once in a while.
I mean, teaching, I find it, sometimes I teach someone, and I felt like the very first teaching sessions, it was like I was so tired after 1.5 hours.
Yeah, people don't understand that when you teach, you're giving all of yourself. I mean, if you work an 8-hour shift at a factory, that's hard work. But it's not as draining as 4 or 5 hours of straight teaching where you have to give all of who you are to that person for that time. So it's very draining. Yeah.
It is.
Anyway, thank you for coming, and it was great to see you again. And hopefully I'll come to Europe and maybe I can stop by and see you sometime, okay?
Yeah, sure. I can show you some of the nice places.
I would love that. Like I said, I'm really hoping I can take a trip to Europe. I've never been, and I love to travel. I don't do it that much. I haven't done it that much because I'm not a rich man. But life is short, and money's just money. So I would rather die in debt than die with a lack of experiences.
That's good. And you can remember, money at the end is always turning to the basic amount, right? And that is zero because it's just paper. Right.
That's exactly right. Yeah. It's just metal and paper. It only has the value that we give it. Yeah. So anyway, all right. Very good. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.
Over, so
yeah. You're welcome.
Have a great time.
Thank you.
And see you next.
Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. So, very quickly, it was wonderful to talk to her. And I saw this guy. Who was he? Where is he? Is he still here? I bet he left already. I have to address something very quickly here. Ghost from Afghanistan said, "Are you just talking to her and not anyone else?" Hi, Ghost. My name is Teacher Mark. This is my live stream. I will do whatever I want to do. And if you want me to talk to you, telling me what to do is not going to get it to happen. Okay? Spectre is one of my longest followers. She's been following me since the beginning. Okay? I haven't talked to her in a long time. I felt like I wanted to talk to my friend. Okay? So, I'm going to assume that you're new and you've never seen me before or haven't seen me very much. But I have 67,000 followers around the world. They all want to talk to me. They all want to learn from me. Why are you special? Let me have it, buddy. I'm not your buddy. Not yet. If you want me to be your buddy, you have to treat me with respect, like we were just talking about. Don't just tell me, hey, put me on. I want to talk to you. Let me please tell everybody this very quickly. If you join someone's live stream, do not just say, put me on stage. Do not do that. It's rude. It's rude. Start by introducing yourself in the chat. Say, hello, my name is Ghost. I'm from Afghanistan. It's nice to meet you. It would be my pleasure to talk with you. If you said that, maybe I would bring you up. But saying, hey, let me have it, buddy. Why are you talking to her and not anyone else? Who are you, man? Speaking of respect. Okay? So, as a piece of advice for anybody who's joining a live stream, I don't owe you anything. This is my time that I am giving to you. If you want me to talk to you, be nice, or it's not going to happen. And calling me buddy is not it. Okay? Sorry, I had to make sure I said that very clearly. Okay? If you want to talk to me, I'd like to talk to you. But I will not talk to somebody who just tells me, put me on stage. No. Introduce yourself like a human being. That's how you start talking to someone. You don't just demand that they talk to you. Okay? All right? There are 170 people in my room right now. They all want to talk to me. And I talk to a lot of people. And I rarely talk to them as long as I did with Spectre, but she's one of my longest friends on here, and she's been following me for a long time. I'll talk to her as long as I feel like. Thank you very much. Okay, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, what is the solution for the lack of respect for teachers? Well, it's a hard one. But the entirety of society needs to change their view of what teaching is. If you want your children to be good human beings, then I think there are two parts to it. Parents need to be better parents, quite frankly. Because there are a lot of parents who don't teach their children basic things, like what I just did there. He's an adult. He should know better. If you're an adult and you don't know that you shouldn't address people the way he did, what's wrong with you? Did your parents not teach you how to talk to people? Parents have a responsibility. If you become a parent, you are a teacher. And it is your job to teach your children basic things, like how to be a good human being. It is my job to give them the knowledge they need to be a better human being. Okay? Thank you, Hassan. Am I a teacher? Yes, that's why they call me teacher, Miguel. Have I heard about Cincinnati's Over the Rhine? Of course I have. OTR. Yeah, that's where the Germans came up onto the hill and they looked over at the Ohio River and they said, oh, looks like the Rhine River. It's over the Rhine. Yeah, Gunter. Yeah, that's the old part of Cincinnati. And now it's one of the hipper parts of Cincinnati. A lot of expensive restaurants and bars and clubs there now. And yes, I am a real teacher. Okay. Okay, Miguel, that's a better start. Hello, my name is Miguel. You want to talk to me. Okay, I understand, Miguel. Please be patient while I catch up with the comments. And Elena doesn't want to come on stage. Okay, that's fine. Hello, Sayana. Nice to see you. And Betty just said, hello, Mark, I'm Betty from China. Can I come to the stage and talk with you? Thank you. See, now that's good. And Peng, yes, 我会说中文，你要我说什么? Okay. And Miguel's from El Salvador. Okay, just a minute. I'll get to you in just a second. Let me just catch up with the comments. What if parents are ignorant? Well, then don't have children. I mean, to be honest, yeah. If you're ignorant, then you need to spend time teaching yourself how to be a good person. If you have not become a full human being yet, then why are you making new ones? If you haven't grown up yourself, then you are not in a position to teach anyone who's new. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Miguel was polite. He wants to talk to me, so I'll talk to Miguel for a minute. And then I'll try to get to somebody else too, okay? Hola, Miguel. Miguel, hello, Miguel, are you there? Earth to Miguel. Come in, Miguel. Hello, Miguel. Okay, well, Miguel, I tried. I did invite you. I'll invite you one more time, Miguel. If you don't have patience, that's a big problem, too. You know, people have to learn how to have more patience. Okay, well, Miguel's not coming. Miguel, I tried. My friend, I invited you, but you just weren't patient, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure why you're not answering my call to come on stage. So now I will talk to Sardasht because he was waiting for a while. Orenbeck, I see you. I'm going to try to get to you. There's a few other people waiting, but I'll do my best, okay? Oh, there's Sardasht. Hello, Sardasht.
Hi, Teacher Martin.
How are you, my friend?
How are you? I'm good. How about you? I hear it a lot of speech.
I'm fine. But teaching is what I do, and sometimes you have to teach people manners.
Actually, Teacher Mark, the main reason I'm coming on your stage, because you mentioned some good, because I'm art teacher and you also English teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm feel you offensive some speech with student make it with the teacher because the adult or young student in the class didn't the same feel in the teacher how we should respect from the teacher. But I wanna excuse me, I'm speak. But some people in the comment maybe like me didn't know well speaking English. Say they should say, may I join you in your?
Oh, I know. I do know,
yeah.
But that's why I said to him. That's why I was telling everybody. you need to introduce yourself first. That is a basic thing that everybody should do. I don't care if you're in person or online. You should introduce yourself and be polite first. And I got a little upset with him because he was saying, why are you talking to her only and not anyone else? Because it's my stream. It's my time. I'll do what I want in that case. And I spend a lot of time here helping people. If I want to talk to one of my friends a little bit, then I will. And she's one of my favorite people. She's been following me for a long time. So I didn't feel that I'm being disrespectful by talking to her. And the conversation we were having was a good conversation. And I think that many people could benefit from the conversation that we were having. So I know that many people want to talk to me. I know many people want help from me. And I do my best to help as many people as I can. But
I mean, some people didn't know. Saying respect way, may I join you? Can I join you?
Sure.
In this way? But sure, some other people they have a purpose, or maybe disrupt you and confuse you on your speaking or your thinking. Yeah,
you are right, and that's why I wanted to stop and just say, hey, listen, if you want to talk to me, if you want to talk to anybody on a live stream, don't just say, put me on stage. Don't do that.
That's rude.
Just introduce yourself first. Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. I'm from blah, blah, blah. May I talk to you? That's it. That's not difficult. And I think almost everyone in the world, we do know this. Our parents did teach us that this is the proper way to introduce yourself to someone. You don't just, if I saw you on the street in Iraq, I wouldn't just walk up to you and say, hey, talk to me. That's rude. That's never going to work, right? So you're right. Sometimes people don't know. And that's why I was telling him, this is what you need to do. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
And I did get a little upset because he was telling me, hey, you should talk to other people, not just one person. Well, I'll do what I want. Thank you. Hello, Miguel. Let me finish talking to Sardasht and then I'll talk to you. Okay. Just give me one more minute. Okay, Miguel. Miguel, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, teacher.
Okay, give me 1 minute to finish talking with Sardasht, and then I'll talk to you, okay?
What did you say?
I said, give me one more minute to talk to Sardasht, and then I'll talk to you, okay?
Yes, I understood.
Okay,
right.
I'm going to mute you for just a minute so there's no echo. Okay, but yeah, Sardasht, so you're a teacher. Are you an English teacher, or...?
I am art teacher.
Art teacher.
I have a degree of, I am painter.
Good for you.
I'm painter.
Good for you. The world needs more art too,
Exactly. In this day, because have a lot of political things or...
Well, art, all kinds of art, it's expression. It's expression, right? And so I'm a musician, as you can see behind me, right? And so for me...
I have been in your life.
Oh, good.
Before.
Okay.
Yesterday,
many people know when they listen to music, they're listening to music just to feel good. And that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. But music is like art. It's like when you go to a museum, it's supposed to make you think. It's supposed to make you feel. It's supposed to make you have a reaction. So when you look at something, you're supposed to have feelings. And music is the same way. Sometimes music can just be something you listen to for fun. But I would challenge all of you to understand that music has a greater purpose. Music is another form of art. It's supposed to challenge you. It's supposed to make you think and make you feel and make you understand different ideas, make you think about different ideas. So whether it's art or music or, any of the art forms,
Yeah, exactly. Music, it's like a instrument speaking.
That's
Like
right.
yeah, exactly. Because when you listen to music, you can't just something word making in your mind with the rhythm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so you can uh, catch up with and your feel combined with the music. You can make a new different sentence if you are uh, playing some drum in your mind. Maybe in my emotion have a very impact, but
that's right.
you
That's
are
exactly
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
because music can a different feeling person to another person. That's
that's
a
right.
very
It's individual.
beautiful way. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
exactly.
exactly
Because
right. Yeah. But that's why I want people to understand that music is like art, that you should explore it. You shouldn't just look at the one that you like, right? If you see a pretty picture and you like that pretty picture, that's great. But you should look at all kinds of art and understand that it's all different. It's supposed to challenge you and make you feel things. So a lot of people listen to Justin Bieber, and that's great. Fine. But what about listening to some jazz music or some R&B music or some classical music or some
yeah,
Indian music or some Iraqi music? Challenge yourself. Listen to some different ideas and understand that music has a much higher purpose than just pop. Pop music,
yeah.
which is just supposed to make you feel good. That's why I don't really listen to a lot of pop music, because pop music is it's too simple for me.
I'm sure you're feeling about pop because you maybe you very immediately like it, but as soon you are forget it.
That's
I
exactly
know,
right. It doesn't
I
challenge
know,
you at all. It
I,
doesn't challenge
I
you at
know.
all. That's right.
Also,
Yeah.
because also the main reason in your feeling I catch you because you are much longer than us because I am 30 years old. They are more bigger because you are live in the past in the
That's
very
right.
classical century, and I hear it a lot of music in
Well, that's
American and
another thing that I
European.
like
Yeah,
to tell people is that art and music are time travel. If you want to
yeah,
travel back in time,
yeah,
you can. Listen to
right.
music from an older age. Look at art from an older age. If you look at the art of Van Gogh or from, Michelangelo or from Da Vinci, that art was made a long time ago, but it can still affect you now.
Yeah,
You know?
that's so. Yeah, that's historical. Be alive for every
That's
century.
right. And
They they are
still
they are
can
not
it
dead.
can still make
Yeah,
you feel something even today. So
yeah,
music is a way for you to explore time, you know? You just have to be more open minded.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because also the like you are painter, you mentioned it because they are did it in the very high in their head in their they are more passion they have more passion to doing painting because they alive their experience for more ever.
Right. Like,
But so
and painters, nobody becomes a painter to become rich.
yeah, exactly.
You paint because it's your heart is telling you that you must paint. It's
Yeah,
being a
exactly.
musician is really the same thing. You don't play music to become rich. You play music because it's what you feel inside and you have to get it out.
Yeah,
Some people might become rich, but very few. Like I've never become rich playing music, but it doesn't stop me because my purpose is not to become rich. My purpose is to express myself.
right, right.
Yeah.
Anything in the beside the music, anything when I you made it very with your soul, with your passion, with your heart, 100% be a good work, and most of the people like it because you do it in the very with your every thinking with yourself, not just by thinking maybe that person I hope like it or that country like it, but just you must be do it as you're thinking, as you like it.
And
Then
my
you
the final thing I'll say is food is also a form of art this way. That you should try new foods. You should try different foods because food is also a way for you to understand culture in another way that you did not know. And if you are not willing to try it, you're closing your mind.
right.
You know, so
good.
and it's the same thing is true. Sometimes the first time you try a food, you might not like it, but then you try it again and again and again, and now you love it. Right?
Yeah.
That's like art. That's like music. The first time you hear it, maybe you won't understand it. The first time you see it, maybe you won't understand it. But keep looking, keep listening. The more you do, the more you get closer to feeling like you understand it. Yeah.
Right.
So,
right.
anyway.
I agree with you.
Sardash,
completely.
it was wonderful to talk with you, my friend. I'm going to talk with Miguel for a minute because I don't want to keep him on stage and have him lose his time.
see.
But it was
I see.
great to talk to you, and thank you for coming on my stage and being respectful and sharing your ideas about art. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be with you. I'm almost of the day. I have been with your stage, but I am not coming up. But for other day, I hope as soon
Sure.
come back and speak with you.
I would love to talk to you
I have
again, my
respect.
friend.
I have a more respect with teacher Mark.
Thank you
Thanks
very
again.
much. Thank you very much,
See you.
Sardash. Take
See
care,
you.
my friend.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Okay, Miguel. Miguel, can you open your microphone? Turn on your microphone. Oh, what happened? See, now that's what I was worried about. Time limit. Miguel, that's why I tried to get you on stage first, Miguel. I tried to get you on stage first, but you didn't answer. It could be a connection problem, but I doubt it, Cassin. Everybody does have a time limit here if you don't have a VIP. And that's right. Yeah. So unfortunately, he probably lost his time limit. That's why I only try to talk to one person at a time. Oh, Cassin says there's some problems today. Well, it could be. It could be. Let's see. Is Miguel still here? No, he's not here anymore. So it could be both. It could be both. Well, I will remind you guys then that go to my YouTube channel. Because if you go to my YouTube channel, then there's no time limit. And I'm on YouTube right now here. Okay? Nobody says the Beatles were a pop band. Indeed. Yeah, the Beatles were a pop band, but if you listen to all of the Beatles music, the Beatles were known as a pop band because many of their songs became very popular. But many of their songs didn't become popular because they weren't pop music. And if you listen to them, they have a lot more to offer than just the most popular songs that they had. Okay? Thank you, Angela. Dr. Ann, you just have to. You mean how do I do it? Well, I have a computer that allows me to do it, but it takes. There's some technology involved. Multi-streaming, it's called. Okay, but once again, go to my YouTube channel, and there's no time limit, so you won't get kicked off. And Cassin, are you from? Is that the Greek flag? I rarely see Greeks on Hello Talk, so it's nice to see one every once in a while. Yes, Angela is always supporting me, and I appreciate that very much. Okay, let me talk to another person. Let's talk to Dr. Ann in India. And Orenbeck, I still see you, but I know you have a VIP, so try to be patient, and I'll see if I can get to you, okay? Hello, Dr. Ann. Namaste.
Sure, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh,
Namaste.
I remember.
How are you
I
doing?
think I talked to you before, right? You're the psychology student.
Yes,
I remember now.
yeah. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. And you?
Second time I'm talking to you.
Good. What can I do for you today?
Yes. It's my pleasure. Join you again.
Yeah, it's my pleasure too.
So, teacher, okay, so at the same time, it is live stream on a YouTube channel. So, there is some technology involved in that
Yeah.
laptop,
So
computer.
I do my live stream from Hello Talk. I don't use my phone. Most people use their phone to do their live stream, but I
Okay,
I open my live stream on my computer first, right? So Hello
okay,
Talk, they do have a PC version, a laptop version of Hello Talk, but that is very limited. But
okay, okay.
there is a way to do live streams, to have a live stream. You can't watch a live stream on your computer, but you can make one on your computer. And I do that so that I can use my nice microphone and my nice equipment. But also, if I do it
Exactly.
in Hello Talk, I have my Hello Talk stream here. I use a program called Streamlabs. That allows me to record the Hello Talk stream and upload it to YouTube at the same time. So it's called multi-streaming. It's a little complicated, but
Yeah, I can understand it.
yeah.
Yeah. Who have like technically good knowledge so they can manage it.
Yeah,
Not technically.
it took me a while to learn. It took me a while to learn how. Yeah, it's complicated.
Exactly right. It
Yeah.
takes effort.
Yeah, indeed.
That's amazing. Yeah. And people really enjoy your live stream and they really feel good to connect with you because you are the one of the like good teacher here, a great teacher.
Thank
Yeah.
you. I try to be.
Very-
I get a little angry sometimes, but it's not because I'm I'm passionate about what I do. And sometimes a teacher should be angry and should express themselves that way so that you can learn from it. You know, if you're always one emotion, you're not being real. You know, you have to show all of your emotions.
Very true. And we should always love what we do. And we should do what we love. That give us internal pleasure in our life
I agree.
and great
Yeah.
motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do anything I don't enjoy. I just don't. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah. Me too. Like I do which things which it is like doesn't matter that is boring for other people. If that is really interesting for me, I do that because I do loving that things because we cannot choose always people choice. We have to make our own choice. We cannot make this world happy, but we can really make happy to ourselves, and
That's
then
right.
we can spread some positive energy
That's true.
around the world.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yes,
So, Dr. Ann, do you have any questions for me today or anything else you want to ask me about?
yes, yes. I have a question like how much I need to improve in myself, in my communication, in my language and action, and my vocabulary. So, like how much I should work upon on my language.
Well, you should work on it as much as you can, but the secret is
Okay.
you have to work on the things that you're weak at. What are your weaknesses? So if you're not good at writing and you're not good at listening, then that's what you need to spend most of your time doing. Okay? So many students, almost all students, they focus on their strengths because it makes you feel good, because you do the things that are easy for you. But if you really want to be good at something, you have to work on your weaknesses to become great. If you work on your
Exactly
strengths,
right.
you'll be good, but never great. If you work on your weaknesses, you will become great. Okay?
Exactly right. And I know my weaknesses are there in my heart, which I know.
Okay, good.
Nobody's knows what is my weaknesses.
All
Yeah, I
right.
will work on them.
Just focus on those and you'll be okay. All right, Dr. Ann, I'm going to let you go and see if I can talk to a couple other people today, but it was
Okay.
wonderful to talk to you again. Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
You're welcome. I'll see
Have
you
a
next
nice
time.
day.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's see. Let's talk to Handsome Beauty. Interesting name. Hello, Handsome Beauty. Oh, okay. How about Yas? Hello, Yas. Yes, I cannot hear you. Your microphone is on. Yes, you might need to go into your HelloTalk settings and allow HelloTalk to use your microphone. Oh, there it is. Now I can hear you.
Am I?
Hello, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, I'm cool. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What can I do for you today? Yes. Can I help you with something?
It's now I'm audible. Now you can able to hear me clearly.
Yeah, I can hear you better. Yeah. What can I do for you
Yeah.
today?
Today, actually, when I was speaking to other languages, like except my native languages, I want to think bit more.
Right.
It's take lot of process in my
Yeah.
mind. How do I overcome that?
Well, you need to stop thinking in Tamil and start thinking in English. So when we learn language, they tell us that you should learn reading, writing, listening, and speaking. They tell you there are 4 parts of language learning. But no, there are 5 parts. Thinking is the most
That's thinking.
important part of language. Thinking is the platform.
Yeah.
It's the platform that reading, writing, listening, and speaking stand on. If you don't have a good platform, then your reading and your writing and your listening and your speaking will not be good. So thinking is the most important part of language learning. And they don't tell anybody that.
Yeah.
So you need to start by trying to think simple thoughts. Simple thoughts every day. Okay? So
Yeah.
when you feel hungry, think I'm hungry in English. When you feel tired, think I'm tired in English. Okay?
Yeah, actually I'm trying, but it's little bit hard thinking with other languages.
I know,
It's
but
bit
if you
hard.
go to my YouTube channel, there's a 5-minute video on my YouTube channel that will teach you a 4-step process for learning how to think in English or any language.
What is your YouTube name?
I just put it on the chat there. You can see it right there. You can search for AFIEC English. AFIEC English. Yes, we lost you now too. So yeah, everybody, thinking is the most important part of learning a language. And why don't they tell you that? Why are there no books that tell you that? It's very simple. When you take a class in school, they only teach you about reading, writing, listening, and speaking for one very simple reason. You can't test someone for thinking. There's no way to test you to see if you're thinking in English, so they don't talk about it. But it's the most important part of learning a language. Whatever you are learning in that language, you need to get it to live in your mind. And you need to understand that your mind is a practice room for language. It's a practice room for language. If you want to be good when you speak, you have to be good when you think first. Okay? So, the famous Dutch artist Rembrandt, he said, use what you know and you will learn now what you do not know. So, what that means is use the language that you can use. And when you think of something that you cannot think of, oh, I don't know how to think that in English, write it down in your native language, and now you have homework. Now you have to find out, how do I say this thing in English? Okay? Okay, let's get to Orenbeck because he's been waiting for a while. Patiently waiting, and I appreciate when people have patience. Orenbeck, hello, my friend.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Hello, my friend. How are you? Good to see you
Mr.
again.
Mark? Yeah, I'm really good. I'm
Good.
really glad to see you.
I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
glad to see you too. What can I do for you today?
Yeah, I had a question and I couldn't ask last time
Oh, okay. Go
because
ahead.
of my connection. And I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
Actually, I talked to many native speakers, and some of them said to me that accent isn't important for native speakers, so I shouldn't focus on accent. But when I talk to them, when they don't understand, they just ask and they repeat my question. Why? What? And I think that we can be annoyable for them. And what do you think? Actually, so many teachers offer that accent. Don't focus on accent. Don't focus on pronunciation, and learn just better. When I talk to native speakers, I feel that I just annoy sometimes them. And what do you think about it?
So Bellin said my answer, which is that accent and pronunciation are two different things. Okay? I don't tell you that you shouldn't worry about pronunciation. You should worry about pronunciation. But pronunciation has two levels. One is clarity. Clarity is here. The other is perfection. That's up here. Perfection is when you have an accent exactly like mine. You do not need that. You do need clarity. Okay, but here's what I will tell you, Orenbeck. If anyone can't understand your English, that's their problem, man, because your English is great. You speak very clearly. Quite honestly, you have good English. You speak well. It's clear. If somebody can't understand you, I'll look at them and say, what's wrong with you? He's speaking just fine. How come you can't understand him? So you don't need to worry about you. You're doing fine. Okay? You're doing just fine. Now,
But I'm really glad to hear it.
there are some people who, you're right, some people, they might speak unclearly, and maybe that is annoying. And that's why, again, I tell people it's like crayons, a box of crayons, right? When kids like to draw, they like to color with crayons, right? And when you buy a box of crayons, you want all the colors in there, right? You don't want all black or all white or all gray. You want all the colors of the crayon box, right? And your accent is your color. Okay, so you don't need to change your color. But if I ask you to write your name very small with a crayon that's not sharp, you can't do it It's not clear. So what do you need to do? Do you need to change your color or do you need to sharpen your crayon? You just need to sharpen your crayon. So you just need to sharpen your accent. You don't need to replace it. You don't need to change it. You just need to sharpen it to make it clear. Okay? But your accent, I'm telling you, your accent is quite clear. I have never heard you say a word that I did not understand. We lost Orenbeck. Well, hopefully you guys got my point. How can you sharpen your accent, Suba says. Okay, well, there are many ways to do it. Phonics is important, okay? I have a system of phonics that I teach my students. It's a very, very comprehensive system of phonics that goes through every possible sound in the English language and learn how to say them correctly, right? But if you want a simple trick that you can use to help improve your accent, I want you to do this. Get a piece of paper. Get one piece of paper, and at the top of the paper, across the top, I want you to write down 10 words that are difficult for you to say well and clearly in English. Think about your language and think about which words are difficult for you to say in English. There's Orenbeck. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had a VIP, Orenbeck, but I guess that's my mistake, my friend. So he's in my YouTube now. See, I told you, you can join my YouTube when you run out of time. Okay? So I hope you got my point, Orenbeck. So here's what you can do. You can write down 10 words across the top of a piece of paper that are difficult for you to say. All right? Then I want you to look at each one of those words, and I want you to think about it. Why is this word difficult for you? Is it the R sound? Is it the TH sound? Is it the V sound? Is it the A, the O, the E? What sound is it that's difficult for you in that word? And then you need to do a little research online and find all the words that sound similar to that word, okay? So type in that word in Google and type in words that sound like whatever the word is that's difficult for you. Then you can write down those words underneath it, right? So underneath the word that's hard for you to say, you're going to write down all the words that are similar to that word underneath it. That means that when you finish your paper, you will have 10 columns of words that are difficult for you to pronounce well. This is what I call your Target Accent Improvement List. TAIL, Target Accent Improvement List. Keep that paper in your pocket every day. Open it up every day. Try to pronounce those words every day. That is how you can improve your accent. That's one way to improve your accent. Okay, find the words that are hard for you to say well and target them. Focus on them consistently. That's right. Okay? Hello, DK. Good to see you. Long time no see. Hello, Jared. Hello, Doke. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. That's right. It's not really a real word, but that's okay. Okay. I think I have time to talk with one more person, maybe. Let's see. I'm going to talk to Mohammed I believe in Nigeria. Hello, Mohammed Abu Bakar. Hello. Do you want to come talk to me, Mohammed? Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, good evening, sir.
How are you, my friend?
Fine, sir. And you?
I'm pretty good. I see that your native language says HA. Is that Hausa?
Yes, sir. It's Hausa.
Okay. All right. Good. If you guys didn't know, Nigeria, their first language is English, but there are many other languages there, like Hausa and Yoruba and many other languages there. So I just wasn't sure what HA was. Yeah. So what can I do for you today, my friend? How can I help you?
So I need some advice for. I want to improve my English speaking.
Okay. Well, what's the problem with your English speaking?
So sometimes I can't communicate well in English.
Okay. Can you tell me more about that? Why can't you communicate well in English? You don't have the vocabulary, or you have to translate in your mind everything, or your pronunciation, or your confidence? What is the problem?
It's the confidence, sir.
Ah, okay.
Because I can't write a lot, but I can't speak.
Okay, well, confidence is the first thing that you need to have if you want to speak well in any language. And actually, yeah, English is an official language in Nigeria. It's the official language,
yes.
Actually. Yeah. So it doesn't matter what language you want to speak. You can't speak well
it's English,
if you. Yeah, but what I mean is, if you want to speak French, you need confidence. If you want to speak German, you need confidence. If you want to speak Chinese, you need confidence. Confidence is the most important part of speaking any language. Okay, you have to believe in yourself in order to speak well. Okay, language is a performance, Muhammad. Language is a performance. It's like when you get up on stage. Anytime you get on stage, everybody is scared in the beginning. Everybody is scared in the beginning when you get on stage. But you have to do it more and more and more. And the more you do it, the more confident you get, the more comfortable you become. Learning is like walking through a dark tunnel. Okay? When you walk into the dark tunnel, it's very dark and it's scary. But if you keep walking, there's light way down at the end. There's light that you can see, that little bit of light. And you keep walking and the light gets bigger. And you keep walking and the light gets bigger. And you keep walking and now you're out and you're comfortable. That is learning. That's learning in anything. So you need to do it more. Do it more, do it more, do it more. The more you do it, the more comfortable you will become. Okay? Oh, the connection's not so good for Muhammad. We'll wait a minute. Muhammad, did you understand me? Oh, no, I don't know why. We lost your sound, Muhammad. I can't hear you. I can't hear you now. I don't know why. I don't know why, Muhammad. I can't hear you now. I can't hear your voice. Somehow we lost your sound. Can anybody hear him? Can you guys hear him? No? Okay. It's not just me. Okay. Yeah, Muhammad, I don't know why we can't hear you. Something's wrong with Hello Talk, I think, maybe. Can't hear you. Okay, Muhammad, why don't you write your answer in the comments? You can write your answer in the comments, and I'll try to help you again. Okay? Oh, there it is. There it is. Now I can hear you. I think it's just your connection.
Okay.
Okay. Did you understand my answer for you? Ah, Mohammed. Okay, Mohammed, I'm going to take you off the stage, but try to see if you can write your comment in the chat, okay? Type your comment in the chat, and I'll try to help you, okay? I don't know why. I think there's a problem with the sound, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a connection problem, maybe.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, there's too much delay.
Can you hear me now?
I can, but I think now it's weird. Can you guys hear him? Now he's off the stage, but we can hear him. How weird.
Hi.
Mohammed, yeah, I can hear you now. That's weird. Okay, go ahead and answer me,
You can hear
Mohammed.
me still?
Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. Go ahead, Mohammed. Can you answer for me? Did you understand me? What happened?
Yes. I
Okay.
understand your
Okay, good.
points. Friends on whatever I'm learning. Not just even English. Even if I'm learning any language,
Anything.
I have to get a confidence.
That's right. That's right.
So by the grace of God, I'll try to trying, because I think some years back I can't speak like this in the internet.
Well, you can now.
That's me. I'll try.
Wow, no. Mohammed, we got a really bad connection, I think. Can you take yourself off the stage? Because I tried to take you off the stage, but now it won't let me take you off the stage. So can you take yourself off the stage and then just answer me in the chat here, okay?
Okay.
Okay, it was nice to talk to you, my friend. It was nice to talk to you. And Orenbeck is asking me, have I ever been annoyed by someone who has a bad accent? Be frank. Truthfully, no, I have not. I have never been annoyed by anyone's language. Certainly not in English. And I'll tell you one simple reason why, Orenbeck. If you have an accent, it tells me that English is not your first language. So that means you know another language. That's more than many people know, especially in America. Most people in America don't know anything but English, and they don't even know that very well. So, I have personally never been annoyed by anyone's accent. I love accents. I find them to be very interesting. It's like different kinds of music or different flavors of food. I'm not annoyed by them at all. The only thing that can be a little bit frustrating sometimes is not accent. It's, like I said, a lack of clarity. Okay, if you're not clear when you speak, that's a problem. But it doesn't mean you have to sound like me. You just have to be understandable. Okay? So, it's like I tell people, if you have two cars, okay, I can give you one of them. All right? Both cars are the same car. They're both very nice cars. Okay? It's a Mercedes-Benz. Okay? But one car has a perfect engine, and the perfect inside, and the tires are perfect. But the paint is not so good. The paint is not so good. The other car has a bad engine, has a bad interior, has bad tires. But the paint is the most beautiful paint you've ever seen. Which car do you want? Yeah, everybody wants the one with a good engine. Your accent is just the paint on the car. Your accent is just the paint on the car. P-A-I-N-T, paint. It's not that important. Okay? The car needs to get you someplace. It has to do its job. The paint is just to make it look pretty. It's not that important, though. Okay? So, don't focus on the paint. Focus on the engine. Focus on the core. That's right, Samir. Okay? So, no, I've never been annoyed by anyone's accent. I love talking to people from around the world. I've been doing it for a long time. So sometimes when I speak to people here, maybe you can't understand them, but I can. How? Practice. Practice. Okay? All right, let's see. That's right. Accents don't matter. What I tell people is language is not about perfection. Language is about expression and communication. Okay? Language is about expression and communication. And Samir, I think you're possibly right. His problem maybe isn't about confidence. Well, not directly. Indirectly. If I had to guess, what his real problem is what most of you have a problem with, which is that you are still trying to think in your native language. If you want to speak English, you must think in English. You can't think in Arabic or in Chinese or in French or in German. You have to think in English if you want to speak English. Thinking is the platform of language. Reading, writing, listening, and speaking stand on the platform of thinking. You have to have a good platform. Okay? Hello, Quavo. Good to see you, my friend. You can understand my speech, but you can't speak like me. Why? Well, because Abdo-san, this is my job. I've been teaching for 30 years. I've been an English teacher since 2009. It's my job to speak well. It's my job to speak clearly. Okay? Bellin says, don't tell me I'm not confident if I don't try to eat frogs' legs. Talking about food, I won't do it even if they are delicious. But you should do it at least once. You should try them. You don't have to eat them forever, but you should try them. It's not going to kill you, probably. And by the way, frog legs are pretty good, actually, depending on how they're cooked. You're welcome, Abdul Kadir. Hello, Isa. Bonsoir. How can you be confident when speaking English in front of others? Fatima, practice more. Okay, when I ask people, sometimes people tell me, I can't speak confidently in front of people. When I speak in public, I get nervous. And I ask them, how many times have you done it? Have you done it 10 times? Have you done it 20 times? Have you done it 100 times? And my answer to them is this. If you haven't done it 1,000 times, then you haven't done it. Don't tell me you're not good at it if you haven't tried to do it 1,000 times yet. Try to do it 1,000 times. Then if you're still not confident, come see me and I'll help you. But if you've done it 1,000 times, you will be confident. Okay? I'm pretty good, Quava. How are you? How can you practice by yourself? Think everything that you think in your day, but think in English. Okay? How can you improve your vocabulary? You need a good system. Read. That's system number 1. Read as much as you can if you want to improve your vocabulary. Get a thesaurus. Go to thesaurus.com. Get a thesaurus. Use a thesaurus to explore your vocabulary. Number 3, learn by topic. So type in a search online, type in furniture vocabulary. And it will teach you all the words about furniture. Type in food vocabulary. It will teach you all the words about food. Type in sports vocabulary. It will teach you all the words about sports. That's a system. And the other thing you can learn is etymology. Etymology means the history of where words come from and how they've changed over time. And there's a great app for that called etymonline.com. It's a website and an app. Okay? There's 4 ways to learn vocabulary. Thank you, David. Hello, Esther. Hola. Gao, go to my YouTube channel and you'll find a 5-minute video about how to think in English. Okay? 可是 Gao, 我是美国人，我住在美国，可是每天我可以讲中文，练习讲，你也可以练习讲英文。如果你去商店讲英文，如果你做饭讲英文，如果你看电视讲英文。第一次你需要讲简单的英文，不是难的。没有难的，简单的。I go to restaurant, I go to a restaurant. Is it the same thing? No. I go to restaurant is not correct. You need a modifier there. You need an article. Sorry, an article. A restaurant. A restaurant is correct. There's my YouTube channel right there. Samir says, I think the best way is to read in context. That's like I said. I have 4 systems that I teach for learning vocabulary, but as I mentioned, the first one is reading. And you're right, it's called contextualized learning, contextual learning. And that's why it's good, because you're learning the words in the context of a story, which means you're more likely to remember. Isa, I can speak English and I can speak Chinese, and I know a little bit of probably 12 other languages. Okay, just a little bit. Hello, Ruba. Hello, Melissa. Okay, so you're welcome, Gao. Listen, guys, it's been almost 3 hours I've been here, 2 hours and 55 minutes. So it's time for me to take a break and go have some lunch. Mohammed says, I try to think only in English every day, but you can't do it regularly. If you can give me perfect advice, what would it be? Mohammed, you should try to think as much as you can in English every day. But of course, you can't think everything. But tomorrow, try 2%. The next day, try 5%. The next week, try 10%. The next week, try 20%. If you can think in English 50% of the day, you're doing really, really well. if you can think in English 50% of your day, think about how much practice you're getting. Think about how much practice you're getting if you can think in English 50% a day. Okay? A diary is good. A diary is a good way to... Actually, the diary is my favorite way to practice, to improve your speaking by writing. Because when you write a diary, your diary is kind of like your thoughts on paper. Okay? You shouldn't try to correct it too much. Just write down whatever you're feeling and just play. Just do it. Just put the words down on paper, right? Then later you can look at them and figure out what is wrong with your thinking in English. And then you can correct that, and that will help correct your speaking. Okay? A diary, it means the words, just whatever you want it to be. A diary can be what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you want to do, your goals, your dreams, a to-do list, a song idea, travel plans, an invention you have, a short story. A diary can be anything. Okay? You want me to play some drums for a little bit? Okay, I will play one song. I'll play one song. I think I can do that. Give me 1 second here. But I want to see... I'll play one song. I need a couple minutes to get back there and get everything turned on, okay? So just wait 1 second, and I'll play one song to end my stream, okay? But I am going to end my YouTube channel now. So if you want to continue to see my my music, go back to my Hello Talk channel, because when I play music in YouTube, if it's something, if it's a famous song, then it gets muted because it's copyright, right? So I'm going to end my YouTube channel now, but I'll keep